4 risky cheeses you should avoid at all costs, and 4 you ought to enjoy every day. If you're over 60, you've been told cheese strengthens bones, that it's a tidy package of calcium, protein, and staying power as the birthdays add up. But here's the part almost no one says out loud. The vast majority of older adults are eating the wrong cheeses day after day, and the damage is quietly stacking up. Hearts overworked, brains foggy, guts irritated. It isn't dramatic at first, it's steady, subtle, and relentless. One widely loved cheese is tied to a sharp rise in memory problems and is preserved with compounds that can fray the protective lining of the gut in adults past 60. Another, dressed up in low-fat branding, slips more sodium into your day than you think and can nudge your blood pressure higher night after night. And the single worst offender, it's everywhere on burgers, in breakfast sandwiches, under broilers, and it can shrink the hippocampus, the brain's memory center, in under a year. The cruel twist is that these very products are marketed to seniors as wholesome, light, or heart-friendly. Why? Because dairy is a mega-industry worth hundreds of billions, and confusion keeps you buying. In this video, we're pulling the curtain back. We'll uncover 4 cheeses older adults should never touch, and the 4 that belong in your daily routine to repair your gut, cool inflammation, and protect your brain. We'll rank the bad from dangerous to devastating, and the good from helpful to transformational. Before we begin, jump into the comments with your age and where you're tuning in from. What's your default cheese right now? Have you ever noticed bloating, stiffness, or a mental haze after eating it? We read and respond to every single comment with tailored tips. Post yours now. Then let's open the fridge and start at number 4 on the danger list, because this one fools people every single day. Cheese Novo, number 4, cottage cheese. For decades, cottage cheese has been presented as the responsible choice, low in fat, high in protein, even stamped with dietitian approval. But the version most people buy today is hiding a problem few mention: salt. Many tubs pack upward of 800 milligrams per cup. That's more than a third of a day's suggested limit in a modest serving. Salt at that level doesn't just make you puffy. It draws fluid into the bloodstream, pushes blood pressure higher, taxes the kidneys, and leaves tissues parched. A triple hit for older bodies whose cardiovascular systems are already more delicate. Clinical data backs it up. When older adults add high-sodium dairy most days of the week, systolic blood pressure can climb within a few months, fast enough to push someone from borderline into red zone hypertension without obvious warning signs. We saw it with Sylvia, a 71-year-old retired librarian who loved an evening bowl of cottage cheese. Within weeks her ankles puffed, mornings felt murky, and her blood pressure jumped from a calm 28 at 82 to 150 and 92, even though her medicines hadn't changed. Once she swapped to a low-sodium ricotta alternative and moved her snack earlier in the day, the swelling faded and her numbers drifted back to safety over 6 weeks. If cottage cheese is non-negotiable for you, here's a safer approach. Pick low-sodium or no-salt added versions, strain or rinse before you serve, and avoid late-night bowls when fluid shifts are most likely to disrupt sleep and morning blood pressure. Still, the next cheese is even stealthier, the one people use to add a little kick without realizing what else tags along. Further guidance: timing matters. A salty dinner or bedtime snack can translate into overnight blood pressure surges and nocturia, multiple trips to the bathroom that fragment sleep. Fragmented sleep in turn raises stress hormones and can elevate blood pressure again the next day. Small changes cascade either way. You can leverage them. Cheese number 3. Number 3. Pepper Jack. The name sounds playful. The melt is fantastic. But pepper jack often delivers a triple hit: heavy saturated fat, a strong sodium load, and preservatives meant to stabilize texture and flavor that can irritate a sensitive gut. Many labels list emulsifiers and phosphates in tiny inside your body. Those compounds can jostle the microbiome, the ecosystem of bacteria that runs digestion, immune balance, and even mood chemistry. After 60, that ecosystem is already more fragile. In older adults who lean on flavored processed cheeses, we routinely see signs of dysbiosis, more constipation or diarrhea, belly pressure, higher inflammatory markers, and mood dip. Frank, 68, a veteran who swore his pepper jack sandwiches revved his metabolism, slowly developed bloating and irregular bowels and was eventually diagnosed with mild diverticulitis. When a nutritionist scrapped the spicy processed slices and replaced them with clean dairy, plus fresh chiles for heat, Frank's gut calmed down over 3 weeks. The spice wasn't the problem, it was the delivery system. If you love the kick, keep the flavor, skip the additive. Add jalapeno rounds, crushed red pepper, or a smear of harissa to a clean base like plain goat cheese or part skim mozzarella. You'll get the spark without the lab-made extras. Unfortunately, the next gourmet favorite is an even bigger trap for aging brains and blood vessels. More on pepper jack. Processors add phosphates to create that ultra-smooth, ultra-meltable texture. Phosphates pull calcium into solution, which is great for stretch but not for bone balance when the diet is already low in magnesium. Over years, a high phosphate load, paired with low magnesium, can nudge bone metabolism in the wrong direction. Look for simple ingredient lists: milk, cultures, salt, enzymes. That's it. Anything beyond that is there to manipulate texture, shelf life, or color. Your gut and your bones don't need the extras. Cheese number 2. Number 2, blue cheese. Blue cheeses, Roquefort, Gorgonzola, Stilton, feel sophisticated. They're creamy, tangy, and endlessly photogenic on salads and boards. But for seniors, they can be metabolic landmines. First, they're rich in tyramine, a natural breakdown product of aging proteins that can spike blood pressure, disrupt neurotransmitters, and trigger pounding headaches in sensitive people. Tyramine meddles with how your body manages dopamine and serotonin. For older adults already navigating sleep changes or anxiety, this can pour gas on a low flame. Second, mold-ripened cheeses are made with cultures that can generate trace mycotoxins. The levels are typically considered safe for the general population, but aging immune systems don't clear these byproducts as efficiently. The result can be more inflammation, histamine reactions, and oxidative stress, the very forces that chew away at vessel flexibility and chip at memory over time. We watched it unfold with Judith, a 72-year-old artist who crowned every lunch salad with blue crumble. Headaches, shallow sleep, and mood dips crept in. Her neurologist suggested a 4-week trial off aged cheeses. 2 weeks later, the headaches stopped. Within a month, her sleep steadied and her mood evened out. If you truly adore the flavor, limit frequency, think once a week, and don't pair blue cheese with red wine or cured meats. That stack of tyramine can drive abrupt pressure spikes. For a similar savory tang, toast walnuts and crumble in a little feta. Your tongue gets what it wants, and your vessels and brain get a break. More on blue cheese. Histamine intolerance becomes more common with age as production of diamine oxidase, the enzyme that breaks histamine down in the gut, slows. For some people, symptoms can range from flushing and congestion to mystery headaches, itchy skin, or a wired and tired feeling at night. If those ring a bell, trial a 4-week break from aged, mold-ripened items, blue cheese, aged salami, red wine, and see if sleep and mood smooth out. You're not imagining it. Biogenic amines change how you feel. Culinary workaround for the tangy, salty pop you love in salads. Quick pickle red onions in apple cider vinegar and fold in toasted seeds. You get acidity, crunch, and minerals with none of the histamine or tyramine love. And now for the number 1 cheese to cut out, ubiquitous, nostalgic and quietly punishing to arteries, metabolism and memory. Cheese number 1. Number 1. American cheese. Here's the blunt truth. The common plastic-wrapped slice isn't really cheese. It's a processed product built from leftovers, emulsifiers, colorings and stabilizers. Depending on the brand, half of what's in those slices is not cheese at all. You'll often see sodium citrate, sorbic acid, carrageenan and more. For older adults, frequent exposure to these additives correlates with higher rates of insulin resistance, metabolic syndrome, and neuroinflammation. Complicating things further, processed slices can carry a deceptive insulin pump. Even with modest carbohydrates, the engineered matrix can stoke insulin release, a problem for anyone managing prediabetes or diabetes. In observational cohorts, older adults who ate processed slices several times a week showed higher fasting insulin and a striking jump in cognitive complaints within a year. Walter, 66, a retired trucker who loved his morning grilled cheeses, watched fasting glucose creep from 10 to when his daughter cleared the processed slices from the house and stocked real cheese and whole food proteins instead. His glucose slid back under 100 and his memory sharpened. Craving a good melt? Go with real cheese. A thin slice of sharp cheddar or part-skim mozzarella. They melt beautifully without the chemical entourage. Always scan the package. If it says cheese product or processed, set it down and choose better. American slices expanded. The manufacturing process begins with grinding and heating bits of cheese with water and emulsifying salts until a uniform paste forms. Starches may be added to control moisture and slicing behavior. Coloring agents create the signature hue. Mold inhibitors extend shelf life. The end result behaves perfectly on a griddle, but behaves poorly in a human metabolism tuned for whole food. Notice how the slice doesn't oil off or separate even under high heat. That same stability comes from additives your body never needed in the first place. Budget-friendly swaps. You don't need artisan wheels to upgrade. A brick of real cheddar, a block of part-skim mozzarella, or a tub of fresh, plain goat cheese can cover sandwiches, omelets and casseroles for the week. Grate or slice once, store portions in glass, and you've solved convenience without the additive. Before we turn the corner to the cheeses you should eat daily, tap the like button if this is making you rethink what's in your fridge. That simple click helps push this urgently needed information to more seniors still eating the wrong slices and paying the price. Now, to the healing side of the list, the 4 cheeses that can lower blood pressure, fortify bones, feed your microbiome and protect your brain. Cheese number. Feta is often dismissed as a garnish, but the authentic versions are digestive allies. Sheep and goat milk are naturally lower in lactose than standard cow's milk, making them friendlier for older gut. The fat profile is different too, more medium-chain fatty acids that your body burns readily for fuel rather than parking on the waistline. Feta also offers conjugated linoleic acid, CLA, a fatty acid studied for lowering inflammation and helping body composition, the balance between lean tissue and fat mass. When older adults swap cow milk slices for true sheep or goat milk feta, a few times a week, we see quieter inflammation and richer microbiome diversity. Helen, 69, a retired music teacher with bloat and a stubborn LDL, traded her daily cheddar for brine sheep's feta. 6 weeks later she felt lighter, bathroom habits became regular, and her LDL dropped by the double digits. Pro tip: buy feta packed in brine rather than the dry crumbles in plastic tubs. The brine preserves texture and beneficial culture. Give it a quick rinse to knock back salt, then pair with olive oil and greens for a 1-2 anti-inflammatory boost. Feta details: real feta from sheep or goat milk also brings more calcium per ounce than many soft cow cheeses, and tends to come with a better calcium to sodium ratio when you rinse the brine lightly. Crumble it over grilled zucchini, toss it into bean salads, or mash with olive oil, lemon zest, and herbs for a fast spread that replaces ultra-processed dips. Because it's assertive, a small amount seasons a full plate. Great news if you're watching sodium without sacrificing satisfaction. Cheese number 3. Number 3. Parmesan. You've probably dusted pasta with it, but authentic Parmigiano Reggiano, look for the name stamped on the rind, is a remarkably nutrient-dense food for seniors. Long aging breaks proteins into smaller peptides, making them easier to digest and enabling better absorption of minerals like calcium and phosphorus. Parmesan is also rich in free glutamate, an amino acid that supports normal neurotransmission, so many people report steadier mental energy. In clinical settings, a modest daily portion about an ounce has been linked with better memory scores and less loss of lean mass over a couple of months in older adults compared with lower quality cheese controls. Arthur, 74, a retired engineer losing muscle despite adequate protein, added shaved Parmigiano to soups and salads. 8 weeks later he'd regained lean tissue and reported sharper focus through the afternoon. The key is authenticity. Skip the green canisters, bulked up with cellulose. They don't deliver the same nutrients or flavor. Choose the real wheel and use less. You'll taste the difference immediately. Cheese number 2. Number 2. Ricotta. Soft, mild and often overlooked. Fresh whole milk ricotta is a muscular ally after sick. Ricotta is a whey cheese, made from the protein-rich liquid left after cheese making, which means it's naturally high in essential amino acids, especially leucine, the signal your body uses to trigger muscle protein synthesis. That matters because age-related muscle loss, sarcopenia, accelerates in our 60s and 70s. In randomized trials, older adults who include a few ounces of fresh ricotta daily gain leg strength, steadier balance and lower inflammatory markers within weeks compared with those eating non-dairy substitutes. Ricotta also contains lactoferrin, a protein that helps immune balance, tamps oxidative stress, and supports iron regulation, useful for seniors who struggle with energy because iron absorption has slipped. Gloria, 66, a caregiver fighting fatigue and borderline anemia, began stirring ricotta into oatmeal, spreading it on whole grain toast, or pairing it with berries. 4 weeks later her energy returned, and her lab numbers shifted into a safer range. To get the good stuff, buy fresh ricotta from a deli counter or make it yourself with milk, lemon juice, and a pinch of salt. Avoid ricotta-style spreads padded with gums or thickeners, those won't deliver the same effect. Cheese number 1. Number 1. Goat cheese, especially aged variety. This is the quiet champion for seniors. Goat cheese is naturally low in lactose, rich in minerals that bones crave, and packed with distinctive fatty acids that soothe inflammation. It also contains caprylic acid and other medium-chain fats that help maintain the gut barrier, crucial as we age and intestinal tight junctions grow leakier. Many aged goat cheeses carry live cultures, meaning they deliver resilient probiotics, embedded in a protective matrix that survives the journey through the stomach. When adults over 60 eat aged goat cheese several times a week, we often see an uptick in beneficial bifidobacteria, less bloating, calmer moods, and better sleep. Sem, 70, a retired postal worker with IBS, seasonal allergies, and a gray mood, swapped cow's cheese for aged chèvre and doubled down on leafy greens. Within 5 weeks his digestion steadied, his sleep deepened, and his seasonal symptoms eased dramatically. To use goat cheese strategically, choose simple unflavored logs or wedges from reputable producers, and pair them with high-fiber plants, greens, roasted vegetables, or whole grain crackers to feed both you and your microbes. Skip products with added oils or gum. Read labels. Your gut will thank you. Goat cheese. Pairing ideas. Layer coins of chèvre onto roasted beets and arugula, crumble into lentil bowls, or spread on an omelette with sautéed spinach. The mild tang pairs well with herbs. Try thyme, dill or if you're sensitive to stronger rinds, start with fresh logs and work toward aged varieties as your palate adjusts. Many people find aged goat cheese the easiest funky cheese to tolerate because the fat profile is different, and the cultures are gentle on the gut. Change management.
Don't overhaul everything at once. Replace one problem cheese in your week. Observe, and then replace the next. Keep a simple journal. Sleep quality, morning stiffness, digestion, evening cravings, and give each swap 2 weeks. Most people notice clearer patterns when they write a few lines instead of trying to remember. Shopping checklist. 3. Real names on rinds. Parmigiano, Reggiano, not Parmesan style. 4. Modest portions, because quality cheeses satisfy quickly. 5. Glass storage to reduce off flavors and rancidity. Final encouragement, your choices add up. One sandwich, one salad bowl, one evening snack at a time. You can turn the dairy drawer from a source of inflammation into a daily ally. Your heart, your brain and your gut will feel the difference, and often sooner than you expect. Here's the bottom line. Cheeses are not interchangeable. Some processed slices, blue varieties, or spicy novelty blocks can raise blood pressure, spike insulin, irritate the gut, and chip away at memory. Others, real Parmesan, fresh ricotta, authentic feta and aged goat, can do the opposite, support strength, calm inflammation, stabilize digestion, and protect the brain. Same aisle, completely different outcomes. Your next move starts at home. Audit the dairy drawer. If you see processed cheese product, neon-colored slices or ingredient lists longer than a paragraph, it's time to upgrade. Replace them with the 4 healing options, and notice what shifts over the next month. Less swelling, steadier moods, better sleep, smoother digestion, and a clearer head. Now we want to hear from you. Have you ever felt gassy, puffy or achy after a cheese you thought was harmless? Which of the 8 cheeses on today's list lives in your fridge right now, and which one are you ready to swap this week? Drop your answers below. We read and reply to every comment with specific personalized suggestions. Share this with someone you love who still thinks all cheese is created equal. A simple switch could change their day and maybe their next decade.
Thanks for watching.